What's going on, everyone? I'm not Isaac, but today we are talking about AFL Round 6, recapping the week that was, and the NBA playoffs have truly begun. Da-da-da-da, da-dum, da-da-da-da, da-dum, da-da-dum.
Oh, no.
What's going on, everyone? We are here with episode 101 of Storm on the Beach.
Still not
here
out.
to talk. We're here to talk about all things great and a little bit of garbage from our sports viewing this week. What's going on, Matt?
Not much.
Fuck.
I don't know.
Yeah, thanks for asking. That feels good. No wonder he does it every time.
It's the joke that never gets old.
Yeah.
The platinum dad joke. Right in the back
That's not
pocket.
bad. I've got no complaints.
I know the least about cricket. I tried to make a cricket joke.
Did you?
Yeah, in the Ep 101, but I spoke as you were speaking in the intro.
Oh.
Pretty important.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're here with episode 101.
Nah, it's just... I mean, we're still not out, technically, unless our computer blows up, so...
Yeah, this isn't published yet, so anything could happen.
But I feel like the ball has been dropped for now. Or perhaps it's still in the air until this episode is released. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we've nicked it. It's on the direction. It's headed towards third slip. But anything could happen.
Yeah.
Fans of the show are obviously wondering, where's Isaac?
True. They probably are.
I don't know. Where is he?
He did recently get into a little bit of alternative medicine and has been taking an interest in the Chinese culture. And he's also really been getting into star signs. He's become quite superstitious as of a result. And 6 is generally not a great number. And I think he was a bit scared being round 6 of the AFL. And yeah, I don't know.
Yep. So he'll be back next week for the lucky episode for round 7.
Yep. Love 7.
Mm-hmm.
Or is 6?
Big 7 guy.
What is the number that's good luck in China? I feel like it's 4.
I reckon I'm right. I could be wrong.
It's 8.
Fuck. 6 actually bad luck, or did you make that up?
Numbers 6 and 8 are widely considered to be lucky.
Whoops.
Oh, well.
Maybe he's actually been researching alternative medicine and getting into Chinese culture because he's actually heavily against it.
Maybe he's in his hyperbolic time chamber, just like pumping out bets, just getting locked in for the playoffs. It's a busy time for him.
But he was going to place so many bets that, time passing at its normal speed just wouldn't have been any help to him. So, he's getting... I can't remember how many days it is in the show, but he's getting, let's say, 4 days for every one, which is some grind set.
They hook him up like Neo in the Matrix.
How many references can we fit into this one bit?
I don't know.
So much money will be coming back to him that he'll have to... No. I've lost it.
Yeah,
I just went to do another Matrix reference, so not good enough.
Like calling it out put pressure on, and I choked.
Yeah. So that's it for this week.
Hope you've enjoyed.
Yeah. But no, I guess nothing been going on. Nothing at all.
Oh, stuff happens, but it's just the bit now,
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I got to play the character until I inevitably can't take the pressure anymore of not letting anyone knowing how I'm doing, and I take my own life, I assume.
Jesus Christ. Always reach out.
Absolutely. Our phone is always open, Zach.
The official Storming the Beach number, call us anytime, is... Oh, I put my phone on charge. I was going to give out Zach's number.
Wait, he actually called me earlier and I didn't pick up, so hopefully...
Fuck that guy.
Hopefully, Zach, you're still around when this comes out, and this is getting a bit dark. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like you're laying on him a bit too much. Just for everyone listening at home, help is always available. The official number for Lifeline is 131114. Don't let Matt's shitty jokes be the last thing you heard.
No, it's not a good way to go.
No, because you'll get to the pearly gates, and he'll be, and who's waiting there? St. Peter.
I believe so.
St. Peter will be like, tell me a joke, and you get into heaven.
Yeah.
And the only joke you can remember is the last one you heard, and you panic, and you say whatever the fuck Matt said, and he sends you straight down, dude.
That could be a good segue into my minute if we want to go there.
Yeah. Speaking of last things you'll ever hear, here's Matt's minute.
I'll do a little bit of a story. It was a bit of a rough week. Sincerely, for some, unfortunately. Perhaps across the nation, there was a bit of a tragedy in Bondi. I was willing to make a joke about it. It was not received well most of the time.
Really?
So, but I'll go with the worst one because it is the funniest. So the joke goes, I was driving and there was a guy behind me. He didn't have his headlights on. Kind of ticked me off, It's 6 p.m. It's nighttime. This bozo doesn't have his headlights on, and I'm looking in the mirror thinking, when's he going to realise? I take another peek and I see a Macca's bag come flying out of the driver's side window, and that just really set me off, I don't necessarily care about the environment, but just seeing the rubbish go flying out of the car, I thought, man, doesn't make you want to take that guy to a Westfield shopping centre and stab him. And as I said, the punchline, multiple women, but one mainly, one notedly, I don't know, holding a glass of wine. She simply said, "That's too soon, darling." And a sort of stillness washed over the crowd as their blank faces looked back at me. They hated me. I don't know if you can win a crowd back from that situation. Someone of my talent certainly cannot. And they didn't appreciate when I went back in for a second part of the joke.
No, you double dipped. No.
Where I can't even remember it. It's just a messy blur. But I said the punchline and one guy yelled, "No."
Fuck's sake.
And I think it's fair. I'm going to nominate myself for the shit list. Sneaky skip ahead, but
that's fair.
Is it a bit too heavy? I don't think so, because I think that's an important lesson. Hopefully I only have to learn once that perhaps you can joke about anything. I'm still not sure, but there has to be a little bit more care put into not just saying whatever I think is funny without really considering all the consequences and what you're actually saying. I apologize to the good people of Lockyer Valley.
Oh, yeah. So for all the listeners from last week, I guess they'll know that this is the one they technically paid for then.
It was the paid show. That definitely adds to the list.
Yeah, it doesn't help. That's unfortunate. I can't believe she hit you with the darling. That's the female equivalent of getting called champ.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She also came up to me specifically after the show and said, "Stay off the internet. It's too soon." And I thought, hey, I don't come to your house and tell you how to cook dinner or something. I don't know.
Jesus Christ. You could have said at least a place of work or something.
I could have said.
Been a little bit less sexist about it.
I'm not upset.
Instead, you're about as good as the bloke who, only stabbed women.
Oh, I know.
Except for the one bloke or whatever who got in the way or something, but whatever.
See, circling back to the shit list, I didn't do enough research on the tragedy, and the fact that he did target only women, coupled with another joke I made that was probably a little bit too heavy towards one of the sexes. All in all, it was not a good show. It was very Hindenburg-esque.
Oh, don't skip ahead.
There were some Nazi jokes too. It was
No, that was everything.
It was
Fucking hell.
straight white man, untalented comic says shocking things in desperate
Did you have a
attempt.
horrible take on Israel and Palestine as well? Or
No, thank God.
that would have been nail in the coffin.
I think it was implied.
Did you take Russia's side as well while you were there? Just get it done.
Just mention Putin's a great man, and
Yeah.
what's the bit?
Get booed off stage, any percent speed run.
I did. On a positive note, I got to fulfill a fantasy I've always dreamed of, looking up to some idols where the showrunner, as Keelan mentioned, it was a paid show. I didn't get paid, thankfully, rightfully so. But he tried to wave me off and signal for me to come down a bit early because the crowd weren't
Hated you?
weren't really into it. And I sort of give him a nod, and then I get to say, all right, if you guys haven't liked anything so far, you're probably not going to like this next one. which was, it was as fun to say as you think it would be.
You just flipped off the crowd verbally.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it sounds bad, but there's only one way to find out in doing comedy, and it's like a kid like learning a new basketball trick, and he keeps trying to dribble between his legs and kicking the ball out of bounds, and everyone's pretty unimpressed. Except if you're the kid, it's a pretty good time, you know. And there's you learn pretty quickly that you probably shouldn't do that as much as you think.
As like a confidence thing as well, it's got to be like, you know, you've hit one that's like not great.
Yeah.
And you knew the crowd didn't like you. The promoter was like, oh yeah, how about you? Yeah. So like, you know, it's up. It's up from that too. So
it is good to know.
Learning
too.
all round.
I appreciate that actually. It's sort of good to know. As funny as I tried to make that retelling, no one came up and beat me up on the way to my car. So I think
that's positive.
Yeah, I think it can always be worse, and I don't think I'm so inept that I'm just saying these horrible. I did genuinely think it was funny. I didn't think it through well enough, I think is the best way to put it.
Well, given that you didn't get stabbed, they probably felt sorry for you more so than, you know, actively hated your guts. So
pity laughs.
Yeah. Maybe don't get that haircut that we always go on about, because maybe they, you know, like, you know.
He's clearly...
It's not, you don't have a serial killer haircut. Now, if you had a serial killer haircut, they might think, you know.
Yeah.
This guy, white supremacist.
Ooh.
Yeah. Can't have that. Also, maybe saying that on a podcast that goes on YouTube, probably not great.
Oh, true.
Whoops. Although, I don't often listen to Joe Rogan, but Mr. Harry Hill played one in the car on the way back from Canberra. And it was an archaeologist talking with that one dude who did Netflix show called like something Ancient Apocalypse or some shit.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, funnily enough, the archaeologist and actual scientist is talking about evidence. And the dude who has a Netflix show and is described as being a pseudo archaeologist doesn't talk about evidence.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Can you be a pseudo whatever you want? It's kind of cool.
You can be a pseudo whatever the fuck you want. As long as you just start making shit up about a topic, you can be a pseudo anything. So we are pseudo AFL experts.
So maybe just a few people might hang on to that AFL experts part if you say it enough.
Maybe we should put that in our Instagram bio, pseudo AFL experts.
Oh, it's not bad actually. It's better than what we have.
What do we have currently?
something like we're three morons or something.
Yeah, it's accurate though. To be fair,
It's not wrong.
I mean, it's actually no, sorry, it's not accurate tonight, but it's accurate normally.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, there was a segue with the white supremacist thing. Oh yeah, So in an episode of the Joe Rogan podcast,
Yes.
they say white supremacist about 1 billion times, and he's big, so I think we're fine.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paparogi. We'll boomerang back to Butcher of the Week. What? Aussie reference? How good.
Take it away with your first nomination. I'll be the meat in your nomination sandwich.
I thought that meant you were going to go.
No, the meat's the middle of the sandwich. I'm trying to separate your two nominations with.
I have two.
Oh,
I think Isaac might have snuck QAFL in there.
Oh no, we've had that before. You know what?
No!
I copied it from last week.
I'll be the.
You can go first. You can. This sandwich is bad. It's just 2 pieces of bread.
I'll be the cheap Woolies brand cracker, and you can be the cheese.
Yeah, okay.
I like it.
Just to clarify, the cheese won't be cheap. It will be just regular cheese, but it will be
better.
$10 a block.
It's so expensive.
It's fucking outrageous.
I went around to a mate's place and he had two 32 packs of cheese. I was like, God damn.
Pre-sliced cheese?
Pre-sliced.
What is it?
His dad's like clearly a billionaire or something. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I assumed he lived by himself and stuff.
Oh,
you
no.
can't live. You can't live by yourself and afford 32 single sliced cheese. That's outrageous. Not in this economy. Speaking of which, do you know the Woolly CEO took home like $8.4 million last year?
Oh, it's not enough. How's he going to survive?
His base salary, if you can call it that, I mean, you can by definition,
yeah,
but was $2.6 million.
Oh man!
And then because he just felt it like, because he fucking made record profits because he's a fucking lizard, he got given another $4 million or whatnot. So
that's good. That's good. He needs it, dude. How's he gonna?
South African guy fucks Australia.
How's he gonna afford? He needs to keep all his heat lamps running and stuff.
And you do, to be able to make it around your mansion, you do need one in every room, just in case.
I'm going to hit the listeners with I'm not racist, but
Go on.
The white South African accent is diabolical. It's very super villainous.
I don't think that's racist. I think this is fact.
It's just a fact.
Like when it's like, no, you are super villain at that point. I mean,
yeah.
What's that Matt Damon film?
There's a few of them, isn't there? No, Elysium.
I think I'm thinking Elysium.
Yeah. With the XO.
There's a few of them kicking around in that, and they're all cunts.
But
no, they're like the mercenaries, aren't they? They're the mercenaries.
Yeah. It's in South Africa.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
And Chappie.
I haven't seen
Chappie's
it.
in South Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And then
District 9, I believe.
District 9.
Yeah. My Butcher nomination would be the NBA commentary. Every franchise team has like their homegrown local commentators who understandably, or like you would assume they love their team, they love what they do, and they cover every single game of the season. And then all of a sudden when it's the playoffs or the what do they call them now, like the play-in tournament, arguably like the finals, or like the biggest sort of, who's going to be more excited than the guys who have been to every game and every training, commentating everything, and they lose the rights. They're not allowed to cover it at all, and it just gets passed on to like some TNT stooges, or sorry, just like your quote-unquote stooges on some broadcasting network.
That's wild.
As a fan, watching your favorite team potentially play their last game of the season. You lose your best commentators, and you just get this guy who, instead of having to try and put into AFL terms, having a guy like, here comes Nick Larkey, phenomenal player, one of the best on the Roos, incredible accuracy. You just get some stooge that's like, oh, I believe Nick Savlaki's caught it, and he might take a punt, and then just silence, and you're like, oh, this is brilliant. I'm glad they were replaced by these guys who are objectively terrible at commentating sport, and it's just mind blowing. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry,
you go.
I say that having done no research. I don't know anything about business or TV rights or how that stuff works. But as a fan, it doesn't make any sense why they would just rip two guys that care so much about the team for two people that couldn't care less.
I mean, it very much could just be what we get given here as well.
I think it might be.
But yeah, still keep it consistent.
Yeah.
And I want to piggyback off your little commentator thing with the AFL reference. I think AFL commentators need to get their brain switched on or have some more confidence, because Gold Coast player, I'm 75% certain it's pronounced Clohessy.
Okay.
And there was one string of play where he received the ball back in the middle of the ground.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
they call him Clohessy correctly.
Oh, no.
And then he ends up, after it comes inside 50, kind of bounces around a little bit. He receives the ball, kicks the goal. I think he kicked the goal. Whatever. That's not important. It's like literally 30 seconds later, and they call him Closey. Same dude.
Yeah, that hurts. That's tough.
Just look, just pick one. Commit.
In terms of
preferably pick the correct one, but
in terms of name gaffes, I've sort of been numb on it since I think in year 10 or 11 when we were in high school. There was a kid at our school called Tristan, classical spelling like Trystan, and the teacher pronounced his name Tristan. I don't.
They had just seen that Key and Peele sketch, though. To be fair.
Yeah, you would hope so. I don't know how that happens.
You literally have to have just seen the AA Ron sketch, or it's just like you just quit. That's disgusting. For my Butcher of the Week nomination, just you wait. I have ham, Nottingham, but the butcher joke was lazy and just too easy at that point. Nottingham Forests, Twitter admin.
Okay.
Cause here we go. They lost. They lost to Everton in what is a relegation battle.
Oh,
because they lost 2-0. And the club's Twitter admin came out and said 3 extremely poor decisions, 3 penalties not given, which we simply cannot accept. We warned the PGMOL that the VAR man for the day is a Luton fan before the game, but they didn't change him. Our patience has been tested multiple times. NFFC will now consider its options.
That's so good.
Which, is worded professionally and such, but that's like immediately after losing.
Yeah,
there was 3 penalty decisions that went not the way of them.
Yeah,
one of which was handball, because, and I believe it didn't get called as handball. Because it was so close, like immediate proximity.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. My issue with that is his hands out like this. It probably shouldn't be there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Can you see? Out like this.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Fine, whatever.
Keelan has his arms outstretched.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for the audio listeners. My arm is in an unnatural position. The other one was a tackle in which defender's foot goes underneath the attacker's foot, and looks a little bit unusual. The attacker then steps on the defender's foot. So I think that one is the most unusual.
Sure.
And then the third one, it looked like a clear pen. I was like, oh, that's fucked. So there you go.
Yeah.
But I don't think there probably wasn't any bias.
No.
Would you believe? It's just that VAR in general sucks.
It's funny you said worded professionally, because I'm thinking the whole time, especially given the timing, it's just very reminiscent of some of those older sort of memes you used to see online on Reddit and stuff, where a guy would send but back before voice chat was like more prominent, so you'd send big messages to each other in Xbox, and it's like that, my dad's a Navy SEAL bucker, or that kid in school who's like, when will you learn that your actions have consequences? It's like, chill out, dude. You can't be posting that on the official admin account. Take that for your burner account. Kevin Durant has a burner account that he uses, to flame like other NBA players.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure you never know who that. Dude, Cristiano Ronaldo. If people
know that he has a burner account, then is it really doing its purpose?
Dude, you don't think Zlatan had like 12 burner accounts?
Not a chance.
You don't think?
He's too busy kicking people in the head.
Yeah.
He's not fucking around with words, bro.
That was probably the worst guy I could have picked. He would just say it to your face.
But if you had to pick a random footballer, if you had to pick the first footballer that popped into your head, I reckon 99 times out of 100, your brain goes Zlatan.
Oh, for sure.
So,
me personally, I love the guy.
Yeah. You're the only person I know that still mentions him. Stop living in the past.
All right. Move on.
Yep. Let's do it. Sorry, I got distracted by one of the other Matthews requesting access to my Amazon Prime account. He wants to watch Fallout, and he's logging in on his new laptop. So rude. Does he not know I'm in the middle of recording an episode?
And to watch Fallout. Oh,
it's meant to be really good.
Yeah, but
don't hate it before you watched it.
I feel like I'm only 29, but I already feel like well, hear me out, because it's sort of where it's going anyway. I feel I'm already at the age where why even watch anything new? Like, nothing's going to impress me when, dude, for example, someone could come up to you with a raving review and go, hey, you know that new Fallout show? Actually not bad. And you go, hey, I just finished Ted Lasso, and I can now rewatch Ted Lasso.
Oh, no, he's right.
And you know what will happen when I finish it the second time?
I'll watch it again.
And that's just one good show. There's probably like 4 I can think of.
All right, well, if you can think of them.
Oh, I don't know. Put me on the spot. Simpsons.
Oh, fuck off. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
I guess we're straight on to time on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. In this week's format of time on, I've opted to also include the score. I'm not sure if we did that last week. No, the score before the headlines.
I don't think we've ever done it. I think
it can provide context to the headlines. First game of the round, we had Saints v Dogs, and the Dogs won by 60 points.
Not bad.
Yeah, pretty wild. I have maybe one of my worst headlines of the week straight away. Dogs destroy Saints, whose resurrection never arrived.
It's not bad.
Just feels weak. Just feels fucking weak.
Are they all yours?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Oh no, sorry. I must have deleted the title for the second game. I've got like a couple of different ones. I was brainstorming for the next game.
Okay. I have God turned his back on the heathens in St Kilda. Their doggy-style sodomy has condemned them. It's pretty much nonsense. I couldn't think of anything good.
You said sodomy, so you'll win over a certain crowd.
Oh.
You did say that, right? Or did I hear you wrong?
No, I did. I'm just...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fine. All right. Well, you're not winning over me. I was just letting you know.
I think you're a piece of shit. No.
I think you're a fucking dog, yeah. Sorry, I just gave Matt his code. My prime code. There we go. All right, so the second game of the week. Crows Bombers feat the Bent Referees Guild of Australia. Bombers won by 3. Obviously with the aforementioned Bent Referees Guild of Australia. Bent in this case meaning corrupt. I
almost said a anti-YouTube word. But it felt right. It felt like the right time.
I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it now.
Okay. First up.
Oh.
You go.
What are we up to?
Crows Bombers.
Yeah. Sorry. Crows migrating south, slaughtered by Australian Air Force test flights.
I've gone for a similar theme. Josh Rochelli's inability to take a mark above his head leads the Crows straight into the Bombers' jets.
Nice.
There was multiple highlights, and he got ragged on this so hard in the media during the week. There was one very bad one that led directly to a goal. He was middle of the ground-ish. Ball comes his way. He's essentially by himself. It's not a marking contest. It would be down as a uncontested possession, I would think.
Yeah.
Instead of reaching above his head with 2 hands, for all the viewers at home, I look like I'm on a roller coaster. Instead of doing that, he still jumps and goes to the ball, but just with one hand.
Oh, no.
Yeah, to tap it down. There's not another Crows player like around him that he was like obviously trying to, like there's no one he was trying to act as a ruck with.
Yeah.
It just looked like he didn't want to commit to the mark, and he has come out and apologized for
that feels worse.
doing that a few times. So it feels bad to rag on him because he has recognised it as something he needs to iron out of his game.
Yeah.
I think it's just confidence in the contest. I mean, there has been some.
Is he a young player?
Yeah, reasonably.
Mm.
Oh man, I can get his age if you'd like. Josh Rochelli is the bright young age of born in 2003.
Oh wow,
21. He's 21, so fair enough.
So weird.
But yeah, 2 hands to the ball, fella. And I've double dipped here. I've gone with the classic.
You had to do it.
News flash: Sam Draper still a flogged who kicked 1 goal 1 time.
AFL player kicking. I can't even. It's so funny. It was a pretty good goal though, fellas. Remember? Shut up.
Context for this. It has actual context in the game. I promise. Because instead of the young upcoming ruckman playing as the main ruck for Essendon, he more often ended up forward more so than veteran Goldstein, who Matt's missing and whatnot.
Great guy.
Yeah, seems like a much better dude. But yeah, so Sam Draper ended up drifting, getting put forward a lot as well because they had injury to Peter Wright. What maybe? Oh, who knows? It's the Bombers. I don't care too much about them. But importantly, importantly, he took some big pack marks and then, like, in the forward 50 and then couldn't convert. He has no goals for the game, a behind, maybe even out on the full, if I remember correctly, from not good. His behind was 20 metres out, like, essentially right in front.
That's not good.
Yeah.
It's very not good.
So, if you get goal of the year for running and not bouncing the ball, you probably would think you'd be able to kick a goal from 20 out.
Yeah.
No one. Tough bickies for him. Rapidly moving along before I get too wrapped up in Sam Draper hate. Oh, he did some flog-like stuff in the game as well. You watch the highlights or see any... Yeah, just go watch the thing. He, like, flops on the ball and then makes fun of that he flopped on the ball immediately after they won as well. Which is, yeah. It should have been done for holding the ball, and then the game might have been different, and, Bombers might not have won by 3, but
yeah.
I think I've got it out for him. I've got big media problems now where I've got it out for the young guy just because he's got a bit of bite, let's say.
You never think it'll happen to you.
Here I am. All right. Pies v Port. Pies won this one by 42.
Crazy.
And I've got Flag Pies fly high as Jason Horne-Francis goes down with yet another hamstring injury. So he's out for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
I have a stormy night in the MCG. Did little to stop the Magpies swooping in and stealing all of the Adelaide's fans' chippies.
Nice. In the way that it hurt a little bit. So many chippies. I wonder how much chips cost at the MCG these days.
Holy, I don't even want to think about it. It'd have to be.
No, let's quickly move along. No, don't say it. Don't say it. We've got Carlton versus the Giants.
Yep.
And I've got very aptly blue beats orange.
I like it. I've got that's really good actually. I've got well.
Lids off.
Giants undefeated, playing some pretty good football, and they lose to Carlton. Interesting.
Well, hear me out.
It's only round 6, and maybe half of their wins at this point are dubious at best. Being awarded
Was it dubious?
Not like this game all.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, I don't know. I didn't even watch.
I think it was just classic. Giants had injuries, so they didn't play as well as they could have, wasn't it? Like,
yeah,
probably.
Like
pretty much as we tipped it, I think.
But the narrative.
Sorry, the fiction. All right, no, please come back with the fiction. Yeah. I mean, Giants. Sorry, not Giants. AFL.com. I was reading the recap from them. Literally, like, the first line after after the title was all caps. Last year wasn't a fluke.
Ooh, okay.
And it's like it's in bold too. Like, it's not the title; it's literally the first line of the article. It's like, fuck. All right, Carlton is most certainly the real deal.
Lids are genuinely off.
Lids are off at AFL HQ. Everyone's wearing navy blue.
That's insane. They're not even trying to hide it.
Not at all. They even double wrist both Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay. Wild.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Last year wasn't a fluke. They for the fans, listeners that may or may not remember, Carlton had one of the worst unceremonious defeats or falls out of the postseason, arguably ever. Oh, they just lost everything.
Yeah.
And then they lost by a point difference. Like,
was it that game that was a point?
I remember it being something brutal. Like, they had all these opportunities to win over bottom 8 teams, and the thing that got them was like not kicking one goal or something.
Carlton was bottom 8, you silly goose.
Probably misremembered the whole thing then.
Okay, so hold on. Wikipedia has the bracket as is. They played Sydney. They beat Sydney. And then, that's right. That's when lids were off.
Yeah.
Lids were flying the fucking... They were everywhere at that point. They beat Sydney by a goal. Then they beat Melbourne by 2 points. Tickets already sold out for the grand final at that point. But I'm sure if they weren't, they would have been snapped up pretty rapidly. But then they went into the prelim and lost to Collingwood by 1 behind.
Yeah.
In a very low-scoring game.
I think Pseudo...
No, they didn't. Holy shit, I just looked at the wrong side. They lost to the Lions. That's on me. That's fake news. They lost to the Lions by 16 because they suck.
I think Pseudo AFL expert is pretty apt.
I was literally reading Wikipedia just then and still fumbled the bag. So, there you go. Speaking of fumbling the bag, next game was Lions v Cats. Cats by 26 on this one. For a little bit more context, not that you really need it, but it was at the Gabba. Lions scored 37 to Geelong's 63.
That should have been noted.
Lions kicked 4 goals all game.
That's good footy.
Dane Zorko was their highest goal scorer.
With 1 somehow. No.
2. Two goals for him. Although to be fair, actually, maybe it was just a game that was in which the key defenders were on fire because Jeremy Cameron also didn't kick a goal.
Ooh.
I'm really confused here. Really wish I watched this one now, but also probably sucked. Yeah, Jeremy Cameron did play. Weird game, I guess it was. And for the headlines, I've got Brisbane Lions officials suggest sacrificing the Gabba to the Brisbane Olympics so they can build a new stadium with a working home ground advantage.
That's brilliant. That's really good.
It might be a little aggressive, but I think it gets the point across.
No, it's really... I've got I don't want to read mine now.
No, please do.
Unprecedented flooding in the savannah has destroyed all signs of wildlife.
The cats are just tucked up in their little homes. Nice.
Maybe for the North Macedonian listeners or anyone that's not an AFL regular, a lot of words like fortress and impenetrable mega home ground. No one's ever said that. I apologize. But
mega home ground, yeah, that's a sentence. That's a yeah.
In sport, when a team can generally win almost all of their games at their home base, home field, and it's usually these teams who have some sort of edge, like their home base field is like on the other side of the equator, or it's hotter there, or there's a high altitude. Those teams,
all their fans are really good.
Yeah.
Gabba doesn't have the problem. Sorry, not a problem. The Gabba doesn't have the fan equation sorted. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, it's different weather up here than it is.
Yeah. And just So the Gabba in Brisbane with the Lions was one of those places where. So if you're a casual listener, they've lost 2 home games. Might not sound that insane. This is a team that's maybe lost 2 home games over 15 years. Now 2 in 1 year in 6 rounds.
I think for at least as long as we've been doing the podcast, a game being at the Gabba has been an actual deciding factor for if I tip the Lions or not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anymore.
Things are out of whack. It's like Zach not ordering a Bundy. It just does make sense. You don't know what's happening.
He could be feeling like a Jack Daniels. Horrible example. I panicked. Couldn't think of alcohol. If we quickly move along to West Coast v Fremantle, the Western Derby, then no one will notice. So yeah, Eagles versus the Dockers in a complete shock to maybe the entire planet. Eagles won by 37 points. North Macedonian listeners even know what's going on here. They think that's crazy. There's no way that's actually happened. It did.
It did.
And what I've got here is Harley Reid shows why he's the perfect start to the Eagles' rebuild, whilst simultaneously starting Frio's rebuild.
Man, you're crushing it. Coming in with the strong second half.
I just thought I'd get aggressive there again.
I put, people forget how big and scary Eagles actually are.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's true.
That lines up very well with the narrative of people are, comparing Harley Reid's impact to the impact of Chris Judd.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been thrown around.
People are saying it.
People are saying it. People are saying, he's, I don't know, the highest impact, first round.
Yeah.
Highest impact pick one in the last 2 decades or something, at least for initial impact. And when you look at initial impact, he played pretty well. West Coast suck, and they've won 2 games.
They suck. Man, I don't even think there's a word to accurately describe how bad they were.
Mm-hmm. It's very unusual.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they weren't bad this game, but like obviously they weren't bad this game.
Yeah.
But as of maybe 15 minutes ago, they were shocking. So, but yeah, Harley Reid took a screamer in the pack, did a few things, kicked 3 goals.
Oh, not bad.
19 disposals. And I think from memory, 7 clearances too. And also, I think he had quite a handful of his possessions as contested possessions, but I could be wrong. Please hold the line.
He's only 19.
He's free. Yeah, okay, there you go. He had second most contested possessions because Bailey Williams and Nat Fyfe tied with 15 each. He had 13.
It's always your towns like Echuca or Shepparton or some weird ass place.
Yeah, where you don't want to be.
Yeah. I need to become the best AFL player.
Mm-hmm. West Coast fans everywhere are starting multis now with, such such gambles as West Coast to win the flag, Harley Reid to win the Brownlow, Harley Reid to win the Coleman.
Why
crazy
not?
shit like that. Yeah, it's a bit much if you ask me, but the kid is definitely good, allegedly generational talent. So we'll see how that pans out. But he is good. He's definitely good.
Alrighty.
Isaac Lee's derby, the Swans versus the Suns at the SCG. Swans won by 53. Tough that.
Yeah.
But the Swans went out there and showed the Suns why a lot of young children are scared of mid-sized birds with long necks.
That's pretty funny.
And then as an extension of that, they show why a lot of adults carry that fear as well. I've been told.
I put at this point with noticing the pattern, I put Alfred Hitchcock tried to warn us. He's a horror director that made a movie about birds being scary, which
nice.
I think was probably legitimately scary in 1945 or whenever the heck it came out.
There were scarier things happening in 1945.
Maybe that's why. I don't know much about the movie. I don't know if it flopped.
1963. It was Hitchcock, so probably not. The Birds is a natural horror thriller film.
It was a different time. If you tried to sell 2 hours of birds flying into windows, I don't think... Now that you've got your horrors where it's like 12 mutants who rape and eat each other and the gore is indistinguishable, that if you took an Indian child from the third world and put him in the cinema, he'd be like, why have you shown me these horrors? You're like, no, it's a movie.
The R rating has truly changed cinema. The Birds was successful. It made just under 4 times its budget back at the box office.
Oh, wow.
And then, the whole critical success thing as well. But to be fair, the critical success thing is probably just people wanking over Hitchcock. So
yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
A little bit.
83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do with that what you will. And then final game of the round, a cheeky little Storm on the Beach derby. We had North v Hawks. I went gentle here, and
thank you.
No worries. Unlike the Hawks, but I gave Hawthorn simply had more in the tank.
Oh, that's very kind, actually. Could have been.
Would you believe it's because Dylan Moore had a game? Not bad. He had a very good time.
Yeah. I took a page out of Keelan's book, I suppose, and just put take a guess. I was hoping it would be a little bit closer, but the second quarter was just devastating.
Yeah, look, North really regretting winning that one additional football game last year at this point, aren't they? Could have had Harley Reid. But you had to go and win that one game. And so unfortunately for Nick Larkey's 100th, took the L.
Yeah.
Now, my viewing experience of this game was unusual.
Okay.
In the way that I was on the way back from Canberra.
Oh.
And so for the first quarter, we were, approximately half an hour south of Coffs Harbour. The phone signal wasn't great.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was.
I had a shocker. I was trying to load from kickoff and then just kind of waiting in between when I got a little bit of signal back, trying to load it. And so I ended up tuning in. Where's the timeline? Approximately, not long after North kicked their second goal, which was less than 10 minutes in.
Yep.
Hawthorn hadn't scored at all when I tuned in. I was like, oh, fuck. We're in for a tough time. And, by the time I'm pulling into Coffs Harbour, I've been watching a little bit of the game. The game seems, pretty even. Hawthorn just kick the final goal of the quarter, take a lead into the quarter break. I was like, oh, okay, I really hope I keep signal here so we can hold on. But then, unfortunately for me, I didn't get to see all the goals live because it would have been probably pretty exciting for everyone. But I was doing this weird scrubbing thing whenever I got signal to try and actually find the goals. But yeah, Hawthorn had a bit of a second quarter.
Oh yeah.
And kicked what's the math there? 8 goals. 8 goals to North's 3 goals in the quarter.
Yeah.
So that was devastating, and they basically just kind of carried that for the rest of the game.
Morale was at an all-time low across pretty much every North Melbourne camp you could find, be it on the internet, in bars, forums, wherever. The second quarter, yeah. It was like when the samurai in Japan discovered gunpowder.
Fuck, we're out of a job, dog. Even Cholly kicked a goal. So,
How's Charlie been on the Hawks?
from what I saw in this game, he was better in
Nice.
the way that he was performing the role I think he was brought in to do.
Yeah.
Which is to be that forward, slightly larger presence.
Yeah.
Obviously, if Mitch Lewis was in, he'd be the tall presence.
Yeah.
But Chol was both the tall and bulkier presence up front.
Yeah.
While he was on. And, he was the main guy in the pack, and quite a few of the goals he kind of tapped to a decent advantage from that pack. So I think he did okay. We'll see how that goes from now on. But he took a mark on 50 near the start of the game. I think it was for his behind. I think it was, it must have been his behind. I don't think it went out on the full, on 50. And he's like on edge, looking like he wants to offload the ball to someone running through. And instead, kind of like, Nos kick or whatever, like junior footy, they tell you to not kick around the corner, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously in open play you can't do, but man's taken the mark. And then he goes and, turns, rushes through the kick and puts it from behind. It's like, if you had just like fucking slowed down, there could have been like a contest in the goal square if you're worried about your kick not reaching as far. So I think it was just a little bit of, even though he's a bit older, a weird little bit of, not immaturity, but just, I know, it's just kind of awkward. Immaturity seems a bit harsh, but I think that's probably the closest thing to it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just very unusual. But yeah, Dylan Moore, I don't know, man. I don't know how to describe him. He was fucking, he just ran everywhere in the forward 50. He was always there. But I think the biggest influence, besides Connor Nash, who logged, I think it's a tied career best disposals for him. I think I saw 32 disposals. Jai Newcomb also logged 32, but Jai looked like he wanted it more than he has the last couple of weeks and was more proactive.
Cool.
So
love to see it, I guess.
You do love to see it. Unfortunately, it's against your team.
Yeah.
But I think it's tough not to be a fan of Jai Newcomb.
Yeah,
given
it seems like a
bit of
cool
an
guy.
underdog type, and it seems like a good dude. Underdog because he's like mid-season draftee and that kind of thing. So
yeah.
And the headband and hair, man, like you just can't not like it. But yeah, that's my rough recap because I didn't have time at work today.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And we have very fast turnaround this week before footy starts again. In the shoe-in, Matt, you were successful.
Yep.
A big margin win for you.
Glad I took the Swans.
Yeah, great move taking the Swans. Not bad margin for me, surprisingly, actually. Hawks won by 45. And Isaac extends his losing lead when he picked the Crows, and they lost by 3. I'm sure if he was here, he'd also be complaining about the refereeing close to the end of that game.
Yeah, without a doubt.
There is the the common adage of you shouldn't be leaving it to the last minute to win a football game. But also shouldn't be making refereeing mistakes at the end of a football game. It's a bit of a fuck you to just say you shouldn't leave it to the end, because at the end of the day, you can't just always win the game in the second quarter, can you?
Yeah, it's a bit dismissive.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we should probably tip for next week.
Yeah.
Let me grab my phone off charge. Fill this air.
I imagine it would be starting with Isaac. I think we're still rolling live. Keelan has taken his headphones off, so It's nothing but me right now. I can say whatever I want.
Oh, no.
Zach's a lovely guy.
I have tipped every single Premier League game correctly this week so far.
That's pretty impressive.
Back in the lead, dude.
Everything's just coming up, Keelan.
It is. I've tipped. Me and Isaac have tipped the exact same thing, I think, in the Prem. But Dan has tipped 2 incorrectly so far.
Oh, God. What a loser.
Dude, the timing on that, my God. My issue here being that it's a double game week for quite a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So look how many Premier League games I had to tip. Well, everyone had to tip. That's full.
7?
That's 7 so far. Sorry.
Oh.
12 games total.
And that's a lot, I assume.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of anything. 12 seconds, Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Hey. I'm trying to find context. But I seemingly can't see who tipped what for last week, so I don't know how many games were on last week. So I guess you'll just have to just pretend like it's a lot and know that it's, a lot going on. But yes, the AFL starts in 2 days because we've got Anzac Day this week.
Ooh.
Next week, I guess we'll review once Isaac's back the Anzac Day Guernseys.
Oh, absolutely. There are some shockers.
What a surprise.
It feels
speaking
inappropriate.
Of alternates, though.
Potentially. No, it doesn't, because it's marketing. Ooh.
This one arrived in the mail not long after whenever I ordered it.
Yeah, that came quick.
Fresh. Long sleeve. Goes hard. The V, sick. And as an alternate kit, obviously, North v Hawks would have been double vertical stripes if there wasn't such a good alternate kit as this. So, great move. People with black and white TVs would have hated Hawks v North if they were both in stripe.
Prison bar game.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Anyway.
Into the tips.
Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Wild that. We've got Richmond, Melbourne.
Yes, we do. You would have to take Melbourne, I would imagine.
You'd be silly not to.
Yeah.
Both just had the bye. So, both fresh off a I joked. Richmond fresh off a loss to the bye.
Yes.
And Melbourne would have won the bye.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, of course, you got the Anzac Day Classic of Essendon Collingwood.
El Clasico.
I dislike Essendon more than I dislike Collingwood.
Yeah, it's
so
funny.
I would very much like Collingwood to win.
They have a good track record of beating them last couple of years too. But yeah, I think outside of this scenario, I dislike Collingwood more than Essendon. But when it's down to Essendon v Collingwood, I would rather Essendon lose. I don't know why. Don't know why. It's very razor thin though. I want people to know there's no team I prefer. I very much am picking the best of a bad situation.
I think Dan's been a bad influence, and I just can't actively. Well, I already actively hate one of his teams, Manchester United. So it's tough to hate. Oh, and I also don't really like the Lakers that much. But
he's the big trifecta.
Yeah, he's trifecta of hated teams, legitimately, probably.
Man U, maybe.
I think they're hated currently. Even by their own fans, to be completely fair.
Even the Lake, no one's hated the way Collingwood is hated, but they're big franchise teams, and it's like you're with them or you're not a big fan. So
Yeah, but we can all agree that Chelsea are a fucking weird football club. So
Yeah.
fuck those guys. Okay, sorry. All right.
Oh, the honey hole.
Just clarify, you picked the Wood?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, we're at the Manuke, traveling to the nation's capital. Unfortunately, a week after I was there, would have been great to see some footy at the Honey Hole while I was in town.
Brilliant.
Bit of a pick 'em this. We got the I called Canberra Greater Western Sydney a few times while I was in Canberra, and it got some good reactions, if I'm completely honest.
That's awesome.
So yeah, GWS v Brisbane.
I'm taking the Giants.
I'm taking the Giants too.
Yeah.
Even with injuries, I think Giants win that.
Yeah, you just.
I don't know how you can. I mean, maybe people are just backing Geelong that much at the moment.
Geelong.
Yeah, sorry. I should have provided more context because of the way Geelong beat Brisbane at home last week. Maybe people are giving the credit to Geelong more than discrediting Brisbane.
It might seem that way. Yep. Based off the reputation of the Gabba.
Yeah, but I think my mouse has just died, so that's cool.
No.
I think only being able to score 37 odd points at home.
Oh, that's not good.
Not great. So, and both sets of big forwards didn't have a big impact on that game. So I'm not willing to credit Geelong for much there, to be fair, either. So yes, picking GWS on the basis of discrediting Brisbane.
Yeah.
They're washed.
Oh, yeah. Fact.
Yeah. Might be a little bit too hard of a conclusion to draw already, but I'm doing that.
Adelaide, North Melbourne, Adelaide. Next
Port
game.
Adelaide.
Yeah.
Port Adelaide, yeah. It's Port Adelaide against St Kilda.
Oh, my bad. Yep.
Yeah. I'm picking Port.
Oh, yeah, no brainer.
Yeah. Can't even remember who the Saints played last week, but
Dogs.
they did. Oh, the Dogs.
Yeah.
Two teams I also don't think should be doing good, and the Saints get beaten by them.
Yeah.
Beaten by the Dogs. So it's like, my headcanon is very much there.
North have more people on them somehow against Adelaide. Maybe because it's in Tassie, perhaps.
They have 5% versus 95%.
Sorry. That was... it's surprising on the ESPN tipping app, if that's where you're looking for your AFL tips, you'll see that less people are backing St Kilda to beat Port than people are backing North Melbourne to beat Adelaide, which sounds insane to me, but it might be the Tasmania factor, which, with how North have been playing, I think Adelaide could play with one arm tied behind their back. I don't think it would. I don't know.
What do they know that we don't?
The 5%.
Yeah. Nah, to be fair, I think it's tough to choose North. They are now the only team to not have won a game. So I don't know how you can go out and pick them unless you're a fan. And that's a lot of people that are fans of North. If it is 5%.
They're up there. They're not. They got members.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to take Adelaide, though. I think even if they're out of form, they have more going for them.
Yeah. Form is arguable for sure at the moment for them. But I think obviously North's form isn't very arguable. It's very clearly bad. So tough that. Speaking of form, Geelong, the only team to not have lost a game yet.
Crazy.
I picked them as, I think just scraping in or just missing out on the 8 at this point, or maybe even worse than that, maybe even doing worse than last year. Yet they're top of the table.
Yep.
And I'm picking them against lids off Carlton. They're winning that game, even though it's a Geelong home game at the MCG.
I'm going to have to take Carlton now that the lids are off.
Just to clarify, I have taken Geelong given that the lids are off in Carlton, and I can't take that. I cannot have any of it.
I just don't want Geelong to win. I just really don't want them to win. It's just a nonsensical gut feeling.
I can't have it either way.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just wrong.
I feel like us picking either side, I win a little bit. That. I win a little bit.
Oh, okay, fine.
Storm the Beach wins.
Footy? Optus Stadium. Freo versus Bulldogs.
I'm going to continue to back the Dogs.
I'm not sure if I back the odds here, to be fair, because they have been called flag mantle already this year, but they did just lose to West Coast.
Tough.
Extremely tough.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to choose the Bulldogs.
Over to the bank?
Yeah, we might go. Well, I might go. Can't speak for you. Who knows what you do? You're an enigma.
I'll be working, unfortunately.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Maybe if Isaac's finished moving house, he'll be available.
That'd be cool.
Otherwise, I can get a free ticket for any Storm of the Beach fan to send me a message. The Suns are tossing free tickets left and right to all members. So if you want to go, let me know. Ooh, poetry, wasn't it? But yeah, at the bank, hopefully we can see the Suns demolish the Eagles.
Is it the People's First Bank? Is like what's going on there? Or is it just not updated?
It's not updated on ESPN here. They had a merger between Heritage Bank and People's First. Or People's Choice, or fucking who knows. Don't care. It's purple now. That's all that matters. Yeah, they've chosen purple to Freo or Fremantle and such.
Yeah. All right. MCG, Swans, Hawks.
Yeah, it's the Swans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand how Hawthorn. I'm 75% certain they're paying better than the Suns were to beat the Swans last week. It could just be that obviously it's not a Swans home game, so there's no SCG situation, but like Suns are a better team than the Hawks at the moment. So
yeah.
They're in different places, but that's how it is.
And into the shoo-ins.
Oh yeah, so Isaac has taken with the first pick of the round 7 shoo-in draft the Sydney Swans
for some reason.
I
know, that was my reaction.
What did you say? Richmond in the chat as a meme?
No, it's just what Isaac wants to back, and more power to him, I guess.
You're so funny. If only I knew you were doing that bit, then I wouldn't have said the Swans already. But yeah, he picked the Swans. Why didn't you pick the Suns?
What does he know?
Oh, maybe on his bookie of choice they were. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the worst odds for this week are Adelaide versus North Melbourne, so you can't pick Adelaide.
The worst odds. Yeah, right. Yep. Man, they'll leave some decent choices.
Yeah, there's 2 good choices. It's Gold Coast versus West Coast, or it's Melbourne versus Richmond. I think I'm just going to get it out of the way earlier in the week and go Melbourne.
Yeah. Based off how West Coast won, I think they could surprise the Suns, whereas I think it's far more unlikely for Richmond to surprise Melbourne if you were going off that.
That's a sensible thing to say.
I think Port against the Saints is probably a good, decent one. Man, Collingwood Essendon seems tempting. Oh, I keep refreshing my phone and erasing all my tips. Very painful. I feel like I might have to take the Suns.
Putting you down. for the Suns?
Well, 1 second. 1 second. Because I'm tossing up between the Suns and Port, and I like that Port is earlier in the week. Because I'm sick of hanging out till Sunday night, stressing out.
That is very fair.
I think I will. Oh, man.
Oh, or you could double down on the end of a week thing and just pick the Suns again.
No, I'll take Port.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, there you go. It's written down. Did you want to touch on the NBA?
Yep, I will in a second.
Okay, so some basketball was played. It's
Unprofessional.
called the playoffs and such, I believe. That's my intro to the basketball for this week.
Not inaccurate. Not incorrect. I don't know. Yeah, so the NBA playoffs are well and truly underway. The play-in tournaments, which has been a recent addition, a great recent addition. Very good. It used to be a little bit stale in the postseason. Now instead of like 6 teams or your 8 teams locking in guaranteed spots, it's sort of more open to the 6 to 10 teams towards the tail end. Makes it a bit more competitive, which is cool. That's all done. My team, the New Orleans Pelicans, were able to clinch through and are playing against OKC, which should be an incredibly cool matchup. Both teams are very likable, have some good players, don't really have any too dirty players. Should be a really good matchup. The Orlando Magic are in the playoffs, which is just crazy. I think that's something probably no one thought they'd ever hear. Certainly not for a long, long time.
Not in my lifetime.
No. The last beacon of hope in Orlando was Dwight Howard, back when he was like a rookie. Feels like 20 years ago now, maybe 10.
Maybe it is.
But no, they're playing very well, Orlando. You got all your other teams in there that you would expect, like your Bucks and your Joel Embiids and stuff, and they're probably doing stuff, I guess, but we'll touch on it more later. And the Denver Nuggets will probably handily, unfortunately, kick out LeBron James and his merry band of men, I suppose. I don't know.
That lines up with the result of game 1, where they won by 11 points.
And that's not a dig at LeBron or something. He's obviously incredible. I think everyone knows who LeBron James is, and his team's honestly not bad either. But the way the Nuggets are playing right now is just, I don't know how to say it, because I don't want to say it's on another level. It's more like they're so in sync with each other, and they're visibly having such a good time. Their starters, Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, clearly, visibly enjoy playing with each other and enjoy playing the game. And a team with people that talented having a good time that want to be there with each other, it's very hard to beat someone like that.
Well, very hard to beat Jokic in general, to be fair. too.
Yeah, straight
given
up.
That, if he has the ball between the free throw line and the basket, there's an overwhelming majority chance that that ball is going in the hoop.
Yep.
And I saw some plays the other day where like most of the time he'll put that shot up himself if he's right under it.
Yeah,
and he can move or whatever.
Yep.
He's not afraid of a spin move, even though he's a billion foot tall. He'll do anything to get it up there, and he can do that. But then, he's also got that last very deft, tiny pass as well. When he's going up there, he's got that little tiny give that he gives off to Aaron Gordon when Aaron Gordon's flying in and that kind of thing. When the defense is like, "Oh no, I've finally done it. I've locked down Jokic for this one basket."
Yeah.
Nah. Aaron Gordon's flying in and we'll yam it on X defender. Doesn't matter who it is.
And for anyone at home that wants to try, the way that Jokic can manipulate the basketball and pass it would be like just go around the house and find a ping pong ball and kind of see like the way you can move the ping pong ball around your hand and hold it between two fingers, and that's how he can hold a basketball, which is...
Have you seen some people play beer pong?
It's very weird.
Some people can't manipulate a ping pong ball. But yeah, man has a talent.
It's like he's flicking marbles around.
Yeah. He's also got the Lionel Messi work rate, but he's always where he needs to be. Or maybe it's just that his stride length is really long, but he looks like he's meandering around. It's probably his stride length also playing part of that. Obviously, Messi being 4'2" or whatever.
That's a good point, though. Like he's
efficient to getting where he needs to be.
Yeah. Like as you said, like even jokingly, for his build and size, where he could have just been like, I'm just going to be a guy that doesn't like uses my size. It's like pretty much the thing he doesn't do. He's incredibly clever about where he is. So yeah, he's pretty dangerous.
I think Isaac would say he knows ball.
something to that effect.
Yeah.
Speaking of Isaac, the NHL is also in their playoffs, I suppose. Our resident NHL guy is unfortunately away. Allegedly, the host has caught his genitals in the pool again.
Given that he, is moving away from that pool, I think he wanted to. Well, he told me at least. Sorry, not. This is definite. He told me that he wanted to just have one last crack at that pool cleaner.
Yeah, he's a sentimental guy.
Yeah.
He didn't get the other nut last time.
For everyone listening at home, immediately before we started this episode, Matt said he was going to throw Isaac under the bus every 5 minutes. If you've been playing along at home, I don't think he has.
No,
not at all.
Couldn't do it.
So immediately dropped the ball on that. But for the NHL, I got 2 facts.
Oh.
Rangers are good.
That is all. Thank you.
Obviously, they're in the playoffs, given that they won the President's Trophy. But because they won the President's Trophy, they probably won't win the Stanley Cup. But hopefully, they can go as far as possible in the playoffs. They won their game earlier. I think it was 4-1. So pretty convincingly. The bread man scored. Everyone was happy. Everyone cheered. My other fact is that the Winnipeg Jets have scored more points in playoffs than the New York Jets in the last 13 years or something. Now, for all those who don't know American sports, I'm pretty sure a touchdown is 6 points.
Yep.
And then you go for the extra point of 1 point or 2 points. So 7 would be the field goal conversion afterwards, after a touchdown. Or maybe who knows? It's literally impossible for me to figure it out. Basically, 7 points, pretty easy to get in a American football game. Whereas Winnipeg scored 7 goals against the Colorado Avalanche in their NHL game. Avalanche scored 6. It probably went to a bajillion overtime for all I know.
Yeah.
Actually, it didn't. It finished full-time 7-6. It was 3-3 in the first term, and then the only goal in the second term was Winnipeg, and then another 3 goals each in the third term, which is just wild to me. But yeah, hockey won in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I've got for that.
Nice.
Whoops.
Oh.
Football, innit?
A little bit of football. I've got another quick anecdote. Along the lines of Isaac's football summary last week. Liverpool, no. I was up to watch their Europa League second leg against Atalanta. Would you believe they did not make up the 3-0 deficit from the first leg? But also, I was yet another game I watched in the car with dodgy signal. This was on the way to Canberra on Friday morning at 4:30 a.m. when we got up and left the house. So, bad way to start the morning. Liverpool won on the day 1-0, but obviously lost 3-1 on aggregate. So, tough that. Tough for Isaac, obviously. Who, well, I guess he's now banking on Leverkusen to win the Europa League, which isn't super unlikely. So anything can happen, but that's looking. I think they're probably odds-on favourites now, to be completely fair with you. And also on that, actually, because every English team did so shit in Europe, the additional Premier League spots. Not Premier League, the additional Champions League spots next year are not getting taken by an English team. So place 5 in the Prem will not be going to England. Place 5 in the Prem is going... Fuck, dude, I keep doing the same thing because I'm trying to do too many things at once. I'm trying to open my phone to find the ladder. Place 5 in the Prem will be going to the Europa League still because the additional Champions League spot will be going to Italy. I believe it was confirmed. Because, they did very well or are doing so well at the moment. I mean, one of the Champions League's legs was 2 Italy teams. And funnily enough, one of them won.
Yeah,
so
nice.
They're through to the next round. But yeah, England, except for maybe Man City. Oh no, Man City are out, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe so.
Everyone's out. All England teams are out of Europe, I think, from memory. At least in the top 2. I don't care about the Conference League. Conference League can fuck off. But yeah, so that means Tottenham, along the lines of Football News last week, Tottenham, no. 5th place isn't going to be good enough for them to make it into the Champions League.
Which is funny because by all other accounts, Tottenham with the new coach are doing phenomenally well for their debut coach season, you could probably argue.
There are a few teams this season where you could compare expectations for the start of the season to expectations currently. Tottenham, I don't think anyone would have said, we expect to be Champions League next season or whatever, given new coach, new system and whatnot. Whereas now they're disappointed because in mid-season they expected to be there.
Yeah, of course.
At one point they expected to win the fucking league, dude.
That's a good
which
point.
is a bit much. But, Liverpool fans, sorry, not Liverpool fans, journalists. Journalists are saying that, Klopp's fumbled the bag in his final season, could have won everything, is going to go home with Carabao Cup. Can still win the Prem, to be fair. I'm still crossing my fingers for that. The boys are back in town. Diogo Jota came back from injury. He scored a goal today against Fulham. He's great. Anything can happen. City are going to drop points. Arsenal are going to drop points. It's fine. Don't worry about it. At the start of this season, given that the entire midfield 3, the starting midfield 3 were all recruited last summer transfer window. I don't think anyone would have gone, yeah, you know what, they've just bought a midfield, they're going to win the league.
Yeah.
Whereas, 4 weeks into the Prem, everyone's like, fuck yeah, dude. So as a sensible Liverpool fan, I'm still very happy with sitting, top 4. Keep in mind, going from outside the top 4 at the end of last season. So context is important. And that's all I got.
Yeah, heavy days for Liverpool Tottenham fans.
Not heavy days. What I'm saying is get some context and be happy about what you've got. Because you could keep in mind, you could be Chelsea.
Oh yeah, those
Could
guys.
be United.
Oh,
Anthony celebrated so aggressively for United's FA Cup game against Coventry that people have been giving him flack for it, which is fair because it's Anthony. But he celebrated, I think it went to penalties, right? So, United versus Coventry probably fucking shouldn't go to penalties, to be fair. Drew 3-3 full time, goes to pens. Anthony celebrates, I think, when he scored his pen. Or someone did.
Yeah,
celebrated aggressively or whatever. Maybe when they won the game. Celebrated pretty aggressively in Coventry's fans' face. Anthony's wages are more than the entire Coventry team. Have some, fucking respect. That's all I got for that. Otherwise, I'll do the thing again where he is... who did I rag on earlier?
There's been a few.
Nah, I did the thing. He's my Sam Draper for the Premier League.
Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit stick and we'll spin around.
Yeah.
For fun. Yeah.
There's always one.
Mm-hmm. United could still win a trophy this year.
That'd be neat.
If they win that. Yeah, good for them.
I feel if there's a team that needs it, it's probably Chelsea, but they're never going to get it. So
yeah, they got knocked out by Man City. So that's right. It's a Manchester derby for the FA Cup final. So United have to beat City to win the FA Cup.
Tough.
Not happening. Pack it up. City have won the FA Cup. They could win.
They just don't show up.
They could still win the double.
That'd be kind of cool.
Nah, fuck them. Liverpool got to win the league, so yeah, all good. Don't worry about that. I could waffle about football forever, so let's not. Let's do it.
Let's flip a coin.
Should we? Whose turn is it?
Was it Isaac's last week, or was it me? So it might be Isaac now. It's Isaac now.
Yeah, it feels wrong flipping for him, given that he's got a pretty good excuse for not being here.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it.
But
we can do 2 next week. We'll do 2 next week for the fans.
But we could condemn him to a...
No, I think we're in a new era. We're in a new era of being nice about the flip.
Yeah, we've learnt.
I think me wanting to put other people's flip tip in has resulted in bad karma. And that's why we don't get as much heads as we should. So I'm going to back the do 2 flips next week.
Also, tuna oil in his drink was like his slavery.
He did lose, though.
Yeah,
that was...
I know.
I'm going to be making up that fucking karma for a while, aren't I?
He complained a lot.
Yeah, well, it's edible, though, to be fair.
Victory goes to the loudest guy.
At this rate, he's going to be drinking tuna oil again. Maybe it'll be sardine oil this year.
We just fuck him real bad.
Sardine and anchovy oil.
What is this? It's just pure tuna oil.
Delicious.
Will this make me sick? No, I don't know.
Well, all these ingredients separately would not.
No.
Together, only time will tell. Well.
Maybe it's a tiny going off thing. If Dan is still around and hopefully not swinging from a ceiling fan after we...
No, because we gave him the number for Lifeline earlier, so it's okay.
We did.
Yeah.
He is a bit of an enigma, I feel, because Collingwood are a bad team. Terrible club, terrible fans. Nobody likes them. But I don't think you'll find a nicer person than Dan, which is just goes against everything you've been led to believe about Collingwood fans.
I was kind of waiting for the stinger.
Nah. It's puzzled me since I met him.
That was really unusual. Like, it's true, Dan's a nice dude, but it just felt wrong coming out of your mouth at the end of an episode. Like, like you're squeezing it in. I thought you were going to be like squeezing in one last ribbing on the boys.
No, I don't know. Maybe all the fans can call in next week with their Collingwood Good Samaritan in their life who goes for a shit club but is a great guy. Great guy, shit clubs. Call in.
Send us a message if you know any non-Jessen that is a Collingwood fan and also a nice person.
Not nominating all of him and his extended family throughout Australia.
And also, the Collingwood fan can't be related to you because obviously,
obvious
they'll
bias.
still be nice to you.
Yeah.
Like I have a cousin who liked Collingwood.
Jeffrey Dahmer had a friend or a pet, I'm sure, at some point.
Possible.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
I couldn't watch that show.
Too many blacks. Too many gays. Tough.
God damn it, Matthew. You were going so well through this episode.
I know.
You were going so well. Oh well, on that bombshell.
It's a terrible way to end.
Well, you've done it. So, cheerio.
Goodbye. I'm all out of whack.
Goodbye forever.
Yeah.